Welcome to Happy New Year, New Year, New You. So, new everyone. How to reset ourselves for the new year. In with the new and with the healthy, and out with, some of the things that we did over the holidays that is natural. And yes, you had a little extra here and extra there. So, we need to, I am not a fan of really like New Year resolutions that basically you say the first day of the year and then by week one, after the end of the week, they're probably tossed out. But I'm definitely more about like just recharging ourselves in like healthy ways to make new healthy habits that are really going to stick. So at this point, it's definitely a good thing to take stock of where we are. That comes in many ways. It could be, I like to see how you're feeling. Just think about how you're feeling. This is obviously difficult times. There's a lot of things going on that in a regular new year that is not on a pandemic, it would be hard enough because obviously this is now uh, complicated more. But so it's perfectly fine to do not feel great, to have issues, to be a little down. It's okay. But that's the thing, is just taking stock of where we are and then trying to move towards a better place. So also, and I always want to say the one first thing everyone thinks of when we're starting the year and getting it, trying to become a little healthier is like, okay, now we're gonna go into the weight and weight ourselves, right? And see how many pounds we gain. Um, so that's one number, and of course, it's useful. I'm not saying we should do it, but a lot of people try to take too much from just the weight that you have. There's actually many things, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Another important thing, for example, is how's your body in terms of like one clear thing is like your knees. Do you have cranky knees and they're a little I saw a statistic which was really interesting. If you gain 1 pound, just 1 pound overall, that's the equivalent of 8 pounds more pressure on your knees. Because you're bouncing in your knees, you're walking, you're doing all that. So it's important. Just that little amount can be, so obviously more can definitely start making your knees more creaky or painful or something. So all those things you just need to, and you know your body better than anyone. So just take stock on that. I do not like all these things, and that happens a lot is in terms of like what we call body shaming, and that you have to be really thin and see the models. Those are that no, there's no room for that. I am convinced that health is in many different. All different bodies, and health can be in everyone in different places. So do not. And sadly, the society with all these models and stuff can create even more problems with that. So, but there's always room to improve for everyone. And that's why we're here and how we're going to try to do that. Um, so, yes, about the weighing, it's good. And if you can weigh yourself, maybe go to sometimes like CVS and stuff have those ones that you can put if you don't have one at home. But it's always good to take stock in that. Also, I don't know if you've seen like measuring tapes that you can measure your weight, like in your waist or your hip. That's also a good thing to just see that. And nowadays they have like little, actually, I have one, I'll show you quickly. It's free. It's an app that just keeps you honest with yourself. This one is called, let's see if you can see it, My Fitness Pal. It's free, it's blue. It's and basically gives you a way to put your weight and put your, if you measure your, you can even measure your neck, your chest, anything, and then you just put it on. I recommend, not, it's not a good idea or not a good practice to be weighing yourself every day. That's kind of obsessive a little bit, and there's no way to be constantly doing that. But once a week, it's great. Pick your day, maybe the Monday or the Sunday. Once a week is good for weighing yourself, and then just write it down. If you don't have an app, just get your little like a little like notebook or something and start putting them by the date. I like the app just because it also later, as you add more numbers, they put a graph and you can see if it's going slightly up or slightly down. So that's kind of a good thing to do, and just for you to keep track. Another way of doing it also, if you feel comfortable with a friend, with some your family, make your buddies, you like kind of like you're gonna have your goal buddies, and you're gonna share with them. If you feel comfortable, share your weight today. In 2 weeks, share your weight in 2 weeks, or your measurements or whatever, to just to keep you accountable. It's always good to be accountable on your own. But I sometimes think like, hey, if I lost a pound this week, I want to flout it. I want to tell you to my friends, right? But also, if you didn't and you actually gain a little bit, it's fine. You could say that. This is a way to change your habits over time, not on one go. Now, every measurement is imperfect, but this is a chart that a lot of doctors recommend. And sometimes when you go to the doctor, they'll say this depends on if you know your height and your weight, you can use it. This is called BMI. I'm going to show you how you read it. You have your height and your weight. This is in pounds or in kilograms on this side, and this is your in feet or in centimeters. So you go over and then you move around these bands, and then where you meet your weight. So on the height and the weight, they meet. So these are the bands. And so it tells you whether you are underweight is in blue, healthy is in green, overweight is in the yellow, and then obese is in the orange, and extremely obese is in the red. Okay. So it's not perfect. And sometimes for people who are actually fair on the short side, it punishes you a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Use it because that's what scientific doctors use a lot. And it's a good thing to see. So your goal is to move towards the green range, right? To here. Um, so so that's my wall. I said that you can see how many pounds you want to shed around. So that's one thing that you need to, that's one good. So it's called BMI. You can just look it up also, but just stick it and see, you can stick it and find it on your own, and then see where you're looking and keep that in mind. You know, it's not perfect, but you may oscillate a little bit, but the point is to be closer or within the green zone for your range of weight and your range of height. So it's useful. Also, another thing I want you to point here, and it's funny because it just shows in here. Do you see this ad? Worried about fatty liver? So right now, if you go to many places, you'll see crazy ads that are like that. It puts you like a picture of a liver and the belly. They just meant for you to start selling you like pills that you don't need or things like that. So don't pay attention. You'll see a lot of them online. Don't pay attention to those, okay? So that means like a lot of fat diets you're gonna see, and it's like, don't eat bananas. They say something like that. Take this. Why broccoli is the worst thing you can have. So there's some crazy ideas, and that's what they're calling click advertising. Don't take pills that the doctor doesn't recommend. If the doctor doesn't tell you to eat like a vitamin that you need or something because you had blood tests and been done, do not take them. A lot of the times they can be harmful in excess. So it's not an insurance policy that you can do on your own. That's with your doctors, okay? Same thing if they tell you and you're here, use this oil of this and tablespoons of olive oil or something. No, no. So what we want to do here is real food and the least processed, okay? So we're going to go back to the basics in that. So you probably, many did, I bought too many cookies and crackers over the holidays, and I have, you know, a bottle of wine. That's no. So now let's do it. Have you ever heard about the dry January? If you drink nothing, this time make it, the drink of your choice would be water. No juices, no sodas, no water for a good time. Things that we can get rid of: flour. If you did some pies or cakes, I did some because I had also a birthday. They're celebrating someone. I made a cake. Clean your kitchen from crackers, from cookies, from breads, from jams, syrups, cereal boxes. No cereal boxes. They usually come with lots of sugar. I always say if it's in a box, frozen dinners. No, frozen fruit and frozen vegetables that are just the vegetables, those are great. that you can stock up your fridge or your freezer with those. But like those TV dinners or frozen pizzas or things like that, those are not great. So we're gonna try to clean the kitchen as much as possible so the temptation is not there. But I have to say, sometimes, you know, the kitchen is not for us only. There's other people in our family and they do like a lot of things. So, one clear thing to do is just have an honest conversation with them that you may you're going to try to do or improve some things and you don't want those things around. They may be understanding and they may say like, okay, let's do it together and let's get rid of the whole thing for everyone, and I'm sure that everyone is going to be feeling much better removing all that. Now, if they don't, just tell them and explain them that you rather that it's not around and it's, you know, behind the pantry or hidden or something or in the room or something, so that it's just not, it's easier that you don't see them because we see them and it can be tempting. You know, those are valid conversations you can have with your family member or roommates or whatever it is, so that they can be more understanding and maybe they'll be more understanding about it. So those are kind of like the main ideas for it. And now one more thing that I want to mention is exercise. This has nothing to do with cooking, but I've heard from even a good trainer once told me, you cannot outrun your diet. Um, there's no, if you can do exercise and that's great, but you have to improve your food and how you eat it. But what I want to do is you have to have some kind of exercise. It can be walking upstairs and doing sit-ups, um, little push-ups on your knees, doesn't have to be full on, jumping jacks, like very simple. Yoga is good because also it helps not only as some exercise and it keeps you moving and stretching, which is great for back pain, lower pain, knee pain, all those because of the stretching, but also it's good for your mind. Still make a practice and make it a habit as much as you can. You can do first thing in the morning, maybe the sit-ups, or maybe before showering, or at night, or after lunch. It doesn't matter. As I was saying, in terms of we want to do it the clearest, like least processed stuff to food. So if it comes in a package of a box, probably is not a great idea. So it should be like in you go shopping, if you be from the fruits and vegetable area or in the meat part, it should be just packed by itself, not in like not prepared with added sauce or with added things. Okay. Pick up a buddy around here, this group, or someone you know, you can text and send. It's always encouraging. So like, how did you do on Monday and next week? And like, yeah, I lost this much or whatever. So it's not a race. This is not, I keep saying, this is not don't use it as a fad diet. It's about developing healthy habits. So it takes time over time. That what they've said, and I've heard it a lot, it's also 28 days is the time for your palate to change, to get rid of a lot of things that like the fatty things and, you know, heavy processed stuff, and your literally your cells in your tongue, in your palate change and renew to new ones every 28 days. So if you are eating this way with very little oils, very little seasonings and salt and stuff like that, the idea is to make this a habit and take it for a longer term, not just the beginning of the month and then switch it because it's time. You know, and the thing is, it's also a process. So let's try it, and good luck, everyone.